Welcome back to Tightlining Maryland. I am in Central PA for the next installment here. I'm on Elk Creek. I'm here at one of the kind of like, I guess, rec center type of summer use areas, and I'm going to be chasing small stream wild brown trout. I have had good luck on this stream before, not in this section per se, but I am going to try it again and just see how it goes. But we're going to give them a hare's ear, we're going to give them the tungsten surveyor, all the stuff that's been working. It's kind of like my go-to confidence flies. And ultimately, between those drifts and maybe a dry dropper, if we don't get into fish, we'll get up to a different section and we'll scoot on out. But today we're going to try to hit 3 streams here in PA before we call it a day and spend some time with family. But then again, tomorrow I've got 2 more streams planned out. All of these streams are Class A wild streams that I'm going to fish today and tomorrow. You know, I highly encourage anybody that's watching this to get a Keystone fly fishing book. You got to get one. It puts you on streams like this, and it tells you access points and just tells you a little bit about the lay of the land. So as somebody from Maryland, it's been an invaluable resource, so make sure you get yourself one. All right, let's get to fishing. We're gonna jump right into it here. I got tangled though with my tag fly, but wonderful stream. Like I said, a Class A wild brown trout stream, excuse me. In terms of how to approach it, I always like, you know, double nymph rigs. That's my favorite. That is my go-to. In particular, as of late, putting a size 14 tungsten surveyor with a hare's ear, either gold ribbed with a gold bead, or lately I've been going with this pink bead because it's just been lights out. But you know, I just like to tight line that. In terms of what I see here, I see a log in the water that creates a little bit of a channel around it where a fish could kind of hide off to the side. I've got undercuts where fish are gonna hide. You know, I've got the riffly water. I mean, it's all so fishy. And even downstream over with this tree, you know, perfect spot for a fish to kind of be able to hide. So we're just gonna try to get some fish here, but let's get our first drift in this stream. So one eensy-weensy little change. What I noticed was they weren't taking anything in terms of the pink hare's ear on this stream. They weren't taking the surveyor. So what I did, beautiful fish, they always are in here. What I did was I switched and I put on a peeping caddis. You know, a previous buddy of mine who I used to fish with, he tied it, but basically it's just got a little bit of green sticking out of the body here, you know, down at the bottom. So it's almost like a shell casing where it's got the caddis coming out, so it's got that flash of green, and then it's just got a bead, black wrap, and a little bit of a little bit of fur to basically give it a shell. So first cast after that switch yielded a fish, so that tells me we're probably onto something. So we'll fish this spot out a little longer and see if that's not the meal ticket. But definitely nice to get rewarded on your first fly change. Got another little hit. The reason why I did that is after you go a certain section of a stream where you know that it holds trout, and ultimately, you know, you're getting good drifts, you're getting dead drifts, you're getting the flies down to the bottom. At some point you got to realize that it's probably the pattern. So
with that, I just decided that this time of year you start to get a bunch of different surface bugs, different caddis and such. But if they're coming to the surface, they're coming from, you know, underneath. So maybe these fish are going to gorge on caddis larvae before these, you know, bugs hatch. So good little switch up, smart little tactic to employ. You know, again, always be changing. I guess ABCs applies. Always be changing. You know, if you're just not getting to the bottom, add a split shot. If you're not getting to the bottom, instead of adding a split shot, change the bead head. You know, the size of that bead. If the flies aren't working, switch up your pattern. You know, odds are that's gonna yield you some success. Alright, so let's try this again. Focus more on the fact we got overhanging brush. But to explain this little section here, you've got this rock that breaks up the current, another one up ahead. So I would think a fish could be lying in here, lying over there. So we'll try to get, you know, a couple passes in both lanes. See if we can't pick something up. Poor guy. Small little brown. Took the teeth and caddis. He was sitting right where I wanted him to be. So, thought process is good. That's a positive. There we go. So, if that little guy is the one that pops out, I don't think there's much bigger in there, because that was good of a drift as we're going to get. But another nice section of water right up here. Multiple channels feeding in. It kind of bellies out. I love this area, love that area. Lots of good water coming up. Picked up another little brownie. This one looks like he took the surveyor, which he would be the first of his kind to do that. Today they've been liking that peeping caddis so far. Sure enough, that's what he did. There we go. Nice fish. Par marks, lovely red tail, white tips. Doesn't get much better than that. All right. I like this right here. Love the treehouse, by the way. That's great. So, we're gonna cross the stream because I want to get to this spot and I don't want to fish from behind. I'd rather get a drift further from this distance over here. So we're gonna cross. That'll make the move. There goes some fish. Some big fish too. Woo, nice brownies. I should have hit that water. I should have hit that water. Not smart. Those were nice browns. All right, so now that I've spooked some nice browns, I hope I didn't ruin the hole. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna fish probably close to us now that I've seen us spook some fish in tiny little water. But we'll try right here. Okay. But the goal is to ultimately work our way out to the other side of the stream. Alright, so we fished up close. Now let's try where I think the fish are actually at. Okay. Ah! Definitely had a hit. Got a nice one this time. Snagged himself a little bit. It's kind of, looks like I got him with the fly, but then he wrapped himself with the spin. So, get this off of you. There we go. So, really nice looking brown. Again, beautiful white tips. Just can't beat it. Awesome. Lost another. Let's try to get a good drift. Focus on sticking a fish. Keep getting these little hits, not the rocks. Alright, let's try a little further out. It's a nice fish. Didn't expect to pick him up, but we'll take it. Probably his second best, maybe the best brownie of the day. Yeah, we'll say D. Let's get him off. All right, sneaking back in. There we go. So, in terms of where I'm at right now, that guy was in probably mid-depth water for this stream. Nothing deep, nothing shallow. But, you know, the current is flowing right down the middle. I just felt like there's a soft spot in it, probably a place for a fish to hide. I really like that seam over there. That's where I think a fish is going to be. But I wanted to prospect that as I was working my way over. Because again, you don't want to spook that fish and ultimately lead to a missed fish in the spot that you like. So that was the little thought process behind that. So let's slide up, see if we can't stick one in the area that I really thought there was a fish, but we'll work our way out to it.